Hey guys, this is Lola Shea from The Lola Shea Show. Tune in every Monday at 7 o'clock right here on IAXISRADIO.com for hot topics, cool conversation, and me, your host. Gotta love it. See you there.
IAXIS Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
IAXIS Radio, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Community Megabytes with your host, DAVON Franklin on IAXIS Radio. Yo, we got a great show coming up right now. You know what I'm saying? This segment, we like to educate the people, you know what I'm saying, and keep the people informed with this segment right here. We call this Community Bits right here. And I wanted to do a little follow-up from what I was talking about in the previous episodes, pertaining to the nurses' strike that we had recently. Apparently, they come to a tentative deal with 2 of the 3 hospitals that they actually had that was under strike. So we're gonna take a little look at this clip right here for fair usage. You know what I'm saying? We're just doing a follow up for what's going on with the nurses' strike. And let's check this out. Courtesy of CBS News, by the way. Let's go.
We begin with that breaking news. 2 of the city's 3 major hospital systems have reached a tentative agreement in what began as the largest nurses' strike in city history. That means after 4 weeks on the picket lines, those nurses could return to work as soon as this week. Lisa Rosner's in the newsroom with the breaking details.
Cindy, nurses at Montefiore and Mount Sinai say they have a tentative agreement. The union says between today and Wednesday, nearly 11,000 of the nurses will vote to ratify those contracts. The nurses union says the tentative agreement includes safer staffing and that Montefiore and Mount Sinai agree to increase the number of nurses. It also protects their health benefits, safeguards against artificial intelligence, and increases nurses' salaries by more than 12% over the life of the 3-year contract. The union says there's also protections from workplace violence that are in place. Now, the union says the one hospital system they are still negotiating with is New York Presbyterian, and that the sticking point is safe staffing. The union says a little more than 4,000 nurses continue to strike there and are back on the picket line today. Sunday night, a representative of New York Presbyterian told us, quote, "We have received a mediator's proposal and are reviewing it," end quote. We heard from nurses who say an agreement at New York Presbyterian could soon be reached.
I would like to say that we're close. We're very close. We want to get back in there. We want to take care of our patients. But right now, the sticking point is what we started this thing in the first place for, which is safe staffing for our patients.
For the two health systems with agreements, Montefiore and Mount Sinai, the union says nurses could be back at work as soon as this Saturday if the voting goes as planned. We've reached out to all the hospitals for comment, and we are waiting to hear back. We're live in the newsroom. Lisa Rosner, CBS News, New York.
Lisa, thank you.
Yes, that safe staffing is very important. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in previous episode, I actually worked as a CNA. And one of the things that you have to take in consideration is that a lot of the patients, you know, you have to deal with total patients as well as patients that could, you know, partially take care of themselves. And when you're dealing with Hoyle lift services and having to, you know, with some people pertaining to weight size and the type of machinery that you actually need, you need double the staff to actually help assist each other. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with particular patients. And then we're on certain levels, on certain wards, you're dealing with, you know, patients that may not be, you know, mentally there, may be agitated and violent. You may need assistance, you know what I'm saying, in those arenas. So I definitely concur with the safe staffing, and, you know, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Glad that the other two hospitals was able to come to an agreement. Let's make sure that third one is able to get one as well. Moving along, also from CBS News, the what is it? The New York City Homeless Services Commissioner has resigned. Let's check this out right quick.
This just in, City Hall confirms the head of homeless services is stepping down. Molly Wasso Park is resigning from her post, overseeing the entire Department of Social Services. A spokesperson for Mayor Mamdani says a new commissioner will be named in the coming weeks. Park served in various positions since 2019, helping oversee the response of COVID-19 and the influx of migrants in the city.
Well, maybe hopefully she, you know, finds, you know, work elsewhere and, you know, has a prosperous career moving forward. Hopefully the new commissioner, you know what I'm saying, to help more along so with the homeless situation, you know, although she does that. The Homeless Service Commissioner does a lot more, as they gave you the description, what her responsibility was. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of which, the New York City Council Oversight Committee was grilling Mamdani about, you know, the responses pertaining to the deaths that we had over the cold. You know what I'm saying? From the winter storm that we had recently. So let's check this clip out right quick.
Amid the city's code blue weather emergency, 18 New Yorkers have lost their lives. Today, a city council hearing was held to examine the Mamdani administration's efforts to keep New Yorkers safe during these dangerously cold temperatures and the work that still needs to be done.
We are here today, though, because 18 New Yorkers have lost their lives since the city declared code blue. These deaths are not inevitable. They are the result of gaps in outreach, shelter capacity, mental health services, and follow-up.
Under the city's code blue emergency alert, shelter intake requirements are relaxed, and outreach to homeless New Yorkers in need of shelter is increased. Our Lisa Rosner is at the hearing, and we'll have much more on this discussion later today at 5.
Yes, we're gonna continue to follow along with the story as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important. Actually, speaking of cold weather and the freeze, New York and New Jersey was actually suing Donald Trump for putting the freeze on the what was it? What is it? The funding freeze for subway system or rail system between New York and New Jersey. Let's check this clip out right quick.
Well, New Jersey has officially joined New York in a lawsuit against the Trump administration and its decision to withhold billions in funding from the Gateway Tunnel project. Officials in New Jersey say the freeze threatens thousands of jobs, halts construction, and jeopardizes daily commutes for 200,000 people. As Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Charlesworth reports, the lawsuit seeks emergency court action.
One of two pieces of giant boring equipment to spiral through a mile of rock leading up to and under the Hudson River to create the Gateway tunnels is already here. This is footage from the Gateway Development Commission. Digging was to begin in weeks, but the only place this project is headed after Friday's deadline, when the money runs out, is to court.
The states of New Jersey and New York joined together to sue the Trump administration to force it to stop holding the Gateway Tunnel project as a hostage in a political fight. Congress appropriated the money for Gateway.
The $16 billion project is already $1 billion underway, a budget 3/4 paid for by the federal government. A done deal by the end of President Biden's term, and New York and New Jersey were to split the balance of about $3 billion. But come Friday, unless President Trump frees up funding, everything stops.
He publicly announced Gateway is, quote, terminated because the Democrats are so foolish, and added, there is no funding because it's up to me. That should offend every American. And it's probably pretty hard to hear if you're scheduled to lose your job this weekend.
This was the president in October as he stopped the project.
Billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated.
It's bullshit, not just BS.
Congressman Josh Gottheimer calls the funding pulled out from under this political.
First of all, this wasn't we have a contract. Secondly, Congress has appropriated the resources. Third, we know the tunnel needs to be replaced and fixed. It'll be great for the economy, great for jobs, great for commuters and families, great for the country where 20% of the GDP runs through.
President Trump, the governor says, has the power to get the project back on track with a phone call. But because Congress voted for this contract,
Likely that will prevail.
the money appropriated runs out on Friday. In Newark, Michelle Charlesworth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Shake him down, Trump at it again. They say he wants Chuck Schumer to name Penn Station after him, and they want Dulles over there at Washington named after him, and then he'll give back that he'll give back that money. Give back that funding. But speaking of shaking them down, the Epstein files is causing turmoil over there in the UK, man. You know what I'm saying? That fallout's not doing too well, man. It's kind of like threatening to shake the royal family down to its core. Let's check this clip out right quick.
New this morning, the release of the Epstein files is having a big impact, not just in Washington, D.C., but overseas as well. Now the fallout is threatening to topple the British government after only 19 months in power. Reporter Greg Palcott has the latest from London.
I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions.
Jeffrey Epstein's longtime girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, invoked her Fifth Amendment rights on Monday as the investigation stalls out in Washington. But in the UK, it's full steam ahead, and it's causing a major political crisis. It started with the appointment of Peter Mandelson as British ambassador to the U.S. In newly released files, Mandelson was linked closer to Epstein's inner circle. And now some lawmakers here are calling for Prime Minister Keir Starmer to step down.
The distraction needs to end, and the leadership in Downing Street has to change.
Starmer vowed to fight for his job on Monday, but on the streets of London, opinion was mixed.
I think he'll probably blow over.
No, I don't think he'll last his full term.
The controversy also having a major impact on the royal family.
Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and
Buckingham Palace released a statement saying it will support a police investigation into the former Prince Andrew's ties to Epstein.
People were saying, yes, Andrew did all these, bad things he's being accused of, but also were there cover-ups in the palace?
And some lawmakers on Capitol Hill say it should be a call to action for authorities in the U.S. to take similar steps.
You have the British monarchy having to answer questions, and yet in our country we have not had that reckoning.
British voters get a chance to weigh in on Starmer's handling of the scandal in May when they head to the polls for local elections. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox 13 News.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Them Epstein files is kind of sticky. And basically a lot of the stuff that they saying that's coming out of them is pretty nasty. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get into any conversations pertaining to that right now with this episode because we got other things that we got to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about the judge down there in Atlanta, the judge orders the Trump administration to unseal those records on the Georgia 2020 ballot raid that happened like a week or two ago. You know what I'm saying? Let's check this clip out right quick.
A federal judge has now ruled the Trump administration must unfreeze more than $16 million for a tunnel project between New York and New Jersey by Thursday. This decision comes after the two states filed a lawsuit against the administration last week over that freeze. They claim the funding suspension was unlawful. The commission in charge of the project warned it will soon shut down and lay off about 1,000 workers if funding isn't released soon. Last week, President Donald Trump told Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer he would release that funding if Schumer would rename New York's Penn Station and Virginia's Dulles International Airport after him. And President Donald Trump is now threatening to block a new bridge that would connect Ontario, Canada to Detroit, Michigan. In a social media post, he says he won't allow the bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything it gave to Canada. It comes after President Trump threatened to add more tariffs on Canada over a possible deal with China. The Gordie Howe Bridge is currently under construction. The Transportation Department says it will cost more than $4 billion.
Yeah, like I said, we don't make it up right here, man. Just brought you the clip right there. Shake him down, Trump at it again, man. Doing his Godfather thing, just patting him down and just flipping him over. What's in your wallet? You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna take a quick music break right quick, and we're gonna get into point of contentions. We're gonna get into this Donnie Ross Kick My Flow joint video coming soon right here. Community Megabytes on IAXIS Radio. Let's go.
Yeah. Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows so I can pimp a few hoes. Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows, take a few flows. So drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows so I can pimp a few hoes. Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows, take a few flows.
When plan A fails, it's quickly how the plot change. Think you at the top, steady jumping on the bed with no box springs. Interrupt the middle of your best speech, taking family pictures, then open hands smack you in the next week. I can't is a loser's mentality. Murder cases thrown out the pleas of insanity. Better write the best verse of your life rhyming after me. Living like a bum, don't blame it on a tax increase. Nope. Set goals and work towards it. Let your money stack and put it down in your first mortgage. Shorty acting strange, kept saying she felt nauseous. All them early mornings getting fucked in the clerk's office. Don't let the haters trick you out of your spots. Some listen, but the rest end up dressed with nice suits in a box. The block wants you dead, fighting to stay alive. Look ferocious on a wind scale, category 5.
Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows so I can pimp a few hoes. Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows, take a few flows so I can drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows so I can pimp a few hoes. Drama few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I take a few flows, take a few flows so I can.
Y'all bitches think I'm pussy, just some white girl from Brooklyn. Subscribe to all my pages just to check what I've been cooking. Y'all looking for any chance I get to get y'all footing. All that talking just to hate you, boy, just stick to losing. See, I'm great at what I do. Creative productivity, shit I never see in you. And I swear it's hard to digest when they think they all so smooth. Got their balls rubbed and ego boosted when they with their crew. Yeah. And for me, it's just a race to the top. Can't see who on the sidelines, just been writing on stop. So get the fuck up out my DMs, let you hear the talk shop. Tryna get me out for drinks, I want this album to drop. Always white girl this and white girl that. White girl gave you rhythm and it's just so sad. You niggas meet me and just get so mad. Yo bro, I think your pussy's bleeding, go put on this pad. Focus on your bag and get up out my ass, damn.
Politics now, President Trump used social media today to claim without any evidence that U.S. elections are, quote, rigged. There's also news tonight about the 2020 election. CBS's Willie James Enman is in West Palm Beach, Florida, near the president's home with the latest developments. Willie James, good evening.
Jerika, good evening to you. Today, a federal judge ruled Department of Justice records related to the recent seizure of 2020 election ballots and documents from Fulton County, Georgia, must be unsealed by Tuesday. This raid at an election hub 11 days ago sparking new criticism from Democrats as the Trump administration zeroes in on voting in America.
The whole thing stinks to high heaven. And the fact is, Donald Trump cannot get over the fact that he lost Georgia in 2020, that he lost the election in 2020.
Last week, officials in Georgia also asked a federal court to order the FBI to return ballots and documents that were seized. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard's attendance at the raid drawing questions from lawmakers.
I believe she has been totally inappropriate, showing up on a domestic criminal investigation in Georgia around voting machines.
The voting battle looms as President Trump has said he wants to take over elections from Democratic-run areas with the November midterms on the horizon.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
The White House claims the president is referring to the SAVE Act. Today, in a post on Truth Social, the president once again claimed America's elections are rigged and stolen, while calling on Republicans to pass the legislation. CBS News election and law contributor David Becker.
We're seeing disinformation being spread, in this case by the President of the United States, targeted at his own supporters, at others who might not like the outcome of elections, and unfortunately some are believing it.
The bill would implement photo ID requirements when voting. Americans would also need to provide proof of citizenship when registering to vote. It's already illegal for non-citizens to cast ballots in federal elections. Now, the Constitution gives states the power to carry out elections, but Congress can make laws regulating the process. The SAVE Act has already passed in the House, but it faces an uphill battle, Jerika, in the Senate.
All right, Willie James, thanks so much.
Yes, courtesy of CBS News. I'm always confused because whenever I go to the ballot to vote, you know what I'm saying, I always have to bring the ID card that validates the name, my name and address that, you know, for the district that I live at, you know what I'm saying, where I registered to vote, at. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of lost and confused. But we hear point of contentions right here, but I want to get into this clip. I want to start this clip off because your boy Trump just can't stay out of the news. You know what I'm saying? He goes, by the way, congratulations to Bad Bunny, you know what I'm saying, for his Grammy win. I didn't give him a shout out for that last week, but also for his performance that he did at the at the Super Bowl this past weekend. I got a chance to see the performance. It was pretty live, you know what I'm saying, from my opinion. But Trump didn't like it so much, so we're gonna check it. We're gonna check out this clip right quick. You know, Trump bashes Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl.
God bless America! Benito, how was it out there? How was it? That was great. Bad Bunny's Apple Music halftime show ripped apart by Donald Trump on Truth Social as, quote, one of the worst ever. The Grammy winner's Spanish-language performance, which Trump labels a slap in the face to our country, was a celebration of America, with shout-outs to countries and territories across North and South America, including his home, Puerto Rico, part of the U.S. A my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico. Seguimos aquí.
The God timing, it's perfect, and estoy muy agradecido. I'm very happy and grateful. Biggest pleasure is just create, have fun doing it, and connect with the people.
The president taking offense to Benito's Spanish writing, nobody understands a word this guy is saying, calling it an affront to the greatness of America, and seemingly confirming he did not tune into Turning Point USA's counter-programming, the Kid Rock headlined All-American halftime show. Si hoy estoy aquí en el Super Bowl 60, es porque nunca dejé de creer en mí. Tú también deberías de creer en ti.
Yes, shout out to Entertainment Tonight News Online.com. All right. So, without further ado, welcome Devin Franklin, Point of Contentions, on to the show. What's going on with you, fella? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah. Man, you sent me a clip, man. Pertaining to first of all, Did you get a chance to check out the game and the performance?
So I checked out the game. I checked out the performance. The game was quite boring. It was frustrating as well. Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. He was a Jet. We ruined him and got rid of him. I'm not saying we anymore because they just ruined my loyalty. This guy got traded from our team and then ended up winning the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm pretty down on the Jets right now. That was painful. The performance as far as the halftime show is concerned, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I understand a little bit of Spanish or whatever, but the performance, in my opinion, wasn't the greatest. I miss the days of Prince singing Purple Rain while rain was falling down on him, which, by the way, was the greatest performance ever. And then Bruno Mars, who was the second best. And so this one right here, there was no tonality in his voice. I mean, I sent you that clip too, but I was thinking the same thing while I was watching it. I was like, wow, this is very mediocre is the best way that I can put that. I mean, I get it. It was cool. And it didn't matter about the language or anything like that. I get what he was trying to do, but there was no singing. There was just kind of spitting out of words. It wasn't really rap. It wasn't really song. It wasn't really tonality. There was no like musical, I don't know, man. It wasn't the greatest. I'll say that, but I didn't do the whole, oh, well, I'm going to turn off the Super Bowl to go tune into Turning Point USA as a protest. I mean, I turned on the Super Bowl and I'm going to watch the Super Bowl and see what it is. And the performance just didn't impress me.
I beg to differ. Well, you know, I like the performance. I liked how the performance started out with the sugarcane. You know what I'm saying? The sugarcane fields, if you know anything about, you know what I'm saying, the sugarcane fields and how that area has been exploited, you know what I'm saying, through its sugarcane fields and the plantations and stuff like that, you know. And what
that part was good. Like, all right, so going through the story, and then when he got the ring and he gave it to the couple and the guy proposed and stuff like that, like thematically, it was dope. I'm not gonna take that.
Yeah, that's the thing, the theatrics, and that was the thing that I was really concerned about, because with most of the performances, live performances, you know what I'm saying, if they're not lip syncing, like, you know, some other people were rumored to have been doing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they're not lip syncing, a lot of times they're out of breath anyways when they're trying to do their live performances. So then you basically go apart with the visuals. Like I could think of the Michael Jackson's, what was it, the Heal the World performance, I think it was, with the first Super Bowl performance where all the pictures came up or whatever have you, not throughout the stadium and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you more so look for. As far as like the halftime show, at least, you know what I'm saying, from one standpoint, the theatrics and shit. But yeah. I do want to get into the clip of the gentleman that you actually sent. You actually sent me this.
Brandon Lemon. That guy right there is the dude.
Yeah. I want to go back and forth with some things that he was saying. I was able to, we was able to get a quick little piece. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna go back and forth with his talking points and shit. So let's check out a little bit about what Brandon had to say about the performance.
I like music from around the world. One of my favorite guitarists is Carlos Santana because of the Latin flair he brings in his music. Again, I don't listen to Bad Bunny, but just knowing that he is a global icon, I was expecting to be wowed by the sheer talent. Like, I don't care what language you speak. When the beat to Billie Jean comes on, your body just starts dancing. I was expecting to be shown why I was wrong for assuming Bad Bunny wasn't a good pick. Instead, it felt like a low energy, I'm Bad Bunny, I'm a global superstar, I have nothing to prove performance, rather than using the opportunity to create new fans out of people. Here's a clip that I think perfectly describes what I'm talking about. Now, Now, I guess Bad Bunny makes party music to my understanding, and though my preferred party music is rap, a lot of these same critiques could be applied to Kendrick.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Yeah, my mic is muted. Yeah. We're gonna get back to his points and his commentary in a second, but I want to point something out, because being that football is usually a sport that mostly men go to attend, what I did notice, you know what I'm saying, in the crowd that he was trying to say, you know what I'm saying, was kind of dead. The people that was rocking was the women. Yeah, the females. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is almost, you know what I'm saying, almost kind of like the point in a lot of cases when it comes down to some of these acts, some of these artists. But you know, I digress, because a lot of the booty shaking music, let's face it, we don't really go to the clubs to go shake booty. We go to the club to watch the women, you know, they do what they do, and then we like to get behind them and help them do what it is that they do.
Dance, they can pull up my pants and do the rock.
They don't dance no more. We stopped dancing back in the 90s. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to point that out. You know what I'm saying? But we continue with the clip for a second?
I like music from around the world. One of my favorite guitarists is Carlos Santana because of the Latin flair he brings in his music. Again, I don't listen to Bad Bunny, but just knowing that he is a global icon, I was expecting to be wowed by the sheer talent. Like, I don't care what language you speak. When the beat to Billie Jean comes on, your body just starts dancing. I was expecting to be shown why I was wrong for assuming Bad Bunny wasn't a good pick. Instead, it felt like a low energy, I'm Bad Bunny, I'm a global superstar, I have nothing to prove performance, rather than using the opportunity to create new fans out of people. Here's a clip that I think perfectly describes what I'm talking about. Now, I guess Bad Bunny makes party music to my understanding, and though my preferred party music is rap, a lot of these same critiques could be applied to Kendrick Lamar last year. I don't think rap music translates well to live performances, especially large-scale, high-production performances like the Super Bowl halftime show. But just like Kendrick's performance, I didn't appreciate the extreme ethnocentric messaging like we're still in the middle of the civil rights era. His was black people and black culture are part of America, whether you like it or not, and Bad Bunny's was essentially the same thing for Puerto Ricans. I interpreted his set design to represent the story of a Puerto Rican boy who rose to become a global pop star, saying this is how we live, this is our culture, but we also hold US passports. And to be fair, maybe his set design combined with what he was actually singing would have given me a greater appreciation for the performance overall. But it was in Spanish, so I couldn't do that. It was clearly a pure business decision by the NFL to expand their market into Latin America. Kind of with the messaging, we're all Americans and football is a sport for Americans. But that was certainly one of the weirder themes of the entire performance. This sort of North and South American unity message, this kind of continuation of the America is stolen land talking point, kind of implying America can't decide who's American because we're all American. Take a look.
God bless America. Sea Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, México, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, las Antillas, United States, Canadá, and my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico.
So he was pushing more of a continental definition of American, basically like Asian or European or African. And while all these places are obviously geographically American, I don't think I've ever heard a Canadian refer to themselves as American, or a Mexican, or a Panamanian, or a Colombian, or a Peruvian, or a Brazilian. Creating this new holistic and unifying meaning of American, I guess to reject the idea that Central and South Americans aren't American, but I find it hypocritical. Why doesn't Mexico and the rest of the Central American countries form a new federation based on their shared humanity and Americanism? Oh, right, because they have no shared value, culture, customs, or history that would unite them in a way to where that would even be possible. And that's the other bit of hypocrisy I extracted from this performance. All of these countries are allowed to have patriotic nationalism and a love and appreciation for their culture. But if we have nationalistic pride in our country, then we're called Nazis. It's like they're spreading a distorted revisionist reality where they're authentic indigenous cultures and we're the big bad evil imperial nation. America is stolen land no more than Mexico is. None of those people are the indigenous people, and none of those people practice the indigenous culture. The entire region speaks Spanish, a European language, and Brazil speaks Portuguese, a European language. They are living in cities named by the Spanish, living in countries with borders drawn by the Spanish, speaking the language of the Spanish, practicing Catholicism because of the Spanish. They are as every bit on stolen land as we are, but they browbeat us like we have no right to exist as a unique culture, but they all do. California was part.
Yes. All right. So if you want to see the rest of that clip, you could go follow what's his name again? Brandon. Yeah, you could go follow him, on YouTube and wherever his sites are at. So just to dissect a little bit of what he was saying, like I think a lot of people get it confused. You know what I'm saying? When you look on the map or whatever have you not, you do have a strip, a drip. You know what I'm saying? One says North America, one says South America. One would contribute that the whole landscape is what you would actually consider America, North, South America. In North America, you have Alaska, you have Canada, you have the United States, you have Mexico, and then down the strip, you know what I'm saying, as you go through Panama and all that, you get to South America. You go, what is it, Panama, Nicaragua, and those countries, you get to South America. You know what I'm saying? So now, as far as the continent, I'm not going to get into the whole history of the Americas or whatever have you. Now we'd be here forever and a day. You know what I'm saying, discussing that. I think a lot of this is misappropriated outrage. You know what I'm saying? Kind of fake outrage.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if first let me get your opinion on the clip, because you actually sent it. So
Yeah, I mean, most land is stolen land. Somebody took over for some reason, and they injected their culture and all of that stuff. As a matter of fact, when it comes down to Christianity, that's kind of the thing too. Celebrating Christmas as Christ's birthday, we all know that is not true, but that was a pagan holiday that they were celebrating at that point in time, and to keep the people from going crazy or whatever while they were converting to this new religion, they just made that Christ's birthday. It's like an appropriation of those religions, or amalgamation of those beliefs together in order to keep the people happy or whatever. And so, it's the same thing when it comes down to this. I mean, obviously, the browbeating of Americans for being proud to be an American, and this is being our culture, which is the melting pot of the whole entire world, or whatever the case is. It draws ire from some people, but again, that's fake outrage and fake activism. When you actually drill down and go through all of that stuff, even the stolen land claim or whatever the case is, that was just ridiculous, because we're essentially all on stolen land, all of us.
Yeah.
Not even just America, but in all other countries, someone stole something from someone.
But I kind of like, I didn't understand what was the point. The statement has been made as what America encompasses as in location and landmass, but the point is truly another NFL halftime show and the ratings. Yes,
Yeah. So Turning Point, actually, what they're saying is that Turning Point halftime show with Kid Rock and all of them outperformed the Super Bowl halftime event. And the thing is, like, you can go and what I'm understanding is you can look at both of them, I guess, not really the NFL, but you can look at the Turning Point event and stuff like that on YouTube. I haven't done that, and I wasn't doing it in protest or anything like that. It was just like, you know what, it's on this channel. I'm not going to be hunting and pecking around to find this thing or whatever the case is. I'll listen to what it is that he's doing. I'll appreciate the performance. I'll see if I can understand what the word is.
I think they said the halftime Super Bowl performance pulled in like somewhat 144 million views.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't follow up with that. I heard that that thing outperformed, but who knows?
Oh no! I heard it. I got a chance to hear about the Kid Rock performance at the Turning Point USA function.
Really good.
Yeah, for something that was actually pre-recorded. From what they said, it was actually a pre-recorded show. It wasn't done live. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why the lip syncing was, the syncing of the performance and whether or not he was lip syncing or not, it was kind of off. And they also said they kind of like manufactured their numbers because for whatever reason, I didn't bring the clip for that, so I don't even want to get into all that. But they said they guesstimated about 5 million views. You know what I'm saying, for the Turning Point USA. You know what I'm saying. But either way or the other, I think Bad Bunny is like an international superstar, and I think for the NFL, who's actually trying to take their sport international, I think that was one of the main reasons why they actually went forth with that.
I mean, that's fair, but did you see that clip? I didn't send it to you or anything like that, but there was a clip going around where they were asking like the players and people, the patrons or whatever of the event. They're like, I don't even know who Bad Bunny is. Like, so I mean, that was unfortunate. I mean, and like I said, I'm not going to knock his performance or anything like that. I thought it was mediocre at best, but it wasn't because I was like, whatever. It's just like, you know what? The whole reason why I was watching the Super Bowl was because of football, and football hasn't really been interesting ever since they started allowing sports gambling into it, because you always wonder, and that's any sporting event when it comes down to it. It's always that, that was a pretty ridiculous call right there. I wonder if it's because they skewed the numbers. And so, that's kind of where I land on it. It was.
I hear you. I want to get a little more to this fake outrage though, but I brought some clips to go further along. Did you get a chance to check out the Piers Morgan show with him and Megyn Kelly? Well,
no.
We got a couple of clips. She expressed her views of what she felt about the performance, and like I said, for fair usage for the topic of discussion that we're having today, we're going to use these clips. So, fair usage. This is Piers Morgan with Megyn Kelly.
And I've watched every halftime show going back 30, 40 years. I thought as a piece of theatre, it was the best I've seen. Just the most extraordinary kind of Broadway on steroids piece of theatre. I also thought it wasn't remotely divisive politically in the end. His Grammys speech was, but his performance, I thought, was actually a lot of things which I would have thought people on the conservative right would applaud. It was about love. A couple actually got married for real in the middle of it. He was preaching about unity, not just the United States of America, but the wider Americas. What was the problem, Megyn?
A certain male gesture is coming to mind, but I'm not sure I can do it on this show. No, it wasn't about what he was actually going to do during the middle of the Super Bowl performance. It's about him. It's about him being chosen as the Super Bowl performer, somebody who's been an outspoken critic, of course, of the Trump administration and of America and our anti-immigrant policies. This is long before the current controversy over ICE. He doesn't want illegals deported from this country. Well, too bad, because the majority of Americans do want that and are not shy about pushing for it. And that's why President Trump got elected. So he and his little buddies over at Green Day never miss a chance to bash the United States of America. He got selected because Jay-Z, for some reason, has got the choice over who performs at our Super Bowl, who's another problem. Don't even get me started on his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Why is he choosing who's appropriate for American children to watch during our seminal sporting event? And I'm sorry, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Yes. A lot to dissect from that. You know what I'm saying? These are the same people that don't like diversity, equity, or inclusion. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I would think that, you know, having Bad Bunny on the halftime performance, and for him to actually do the performance the way he actually did it, you know what I'm saying? I think I would have thought that was even more unifying for those, you know, for those who may not, you know, have a knowledge or understanding or even or even inkling of the history of the island. A lot of people didn't even know up until this controversy that, you know, Puerto Rico is actually a part of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, I think in a lot of sense, you know what I'm saying, this was being used to actually unify the country. I mean, you know, yes, you get a chance to incorporate people who really, because I mean, let's face it, how many Puerto Rican or Latin football players do you hear about?
Not very many.
I mean, we could kind of go there, you know what I'm saying? But no, they got a couple, but you know how many, you know.
She has a point though. Like, okay, so this is the one thing that stood out to me, and it was funny because I actually was thinking of my own contradiction with it, watching Super Bowl or watching anybody perform or whatever, and where I am now is at the age that I am or whatever. The one thing that was standing out to me, besides the falling through the roof part, that I thought that was dope. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty neat. I was wondering what the square was when they were showing the top-down view, and then he falls through the roof, and I was like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. But anyway, him grabbing his junk all the doggone time, man. This is a show that you're supposed to be family entertainment, watch the kids, having the kids watching all this other stuff, and he just kept doing that, and it was like it was standing out, and it was like, man, just all right, whatever. But I mean, it wasn't like offensive to me. I'm a grown up. But
what was it? Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson was grabbing his junk when he was doing his hee. So I mean, it's like whatever, man.
If I'm not mistaken, was that the Super Bowl halftime performance that Janet Jackson was performing in with Justin Timberlake?
Where she got her wardrobe malfunction, yeah.
And she was the one that was mostly criticized, even though he was the one who tore the breastplate off or whatever. One of the let's see, Tara Volker says we don't need the Nego national anthem. Yes, I was getting ready to get into that. I didn't like that statement at all. Neither did I. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just take a look at the subliminal shots. But I find the hypocrisy kind of funny because while she took a dig at Jay-Z and his affiliation with Epstein, being in the Epstein files, yet she's the main pom-pom swinger for Donald Trump, and it's been known that he's been hanging with Epstein for 15 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? And it's been holding and it's been adamantly against releasing those files. You know what I'm saying? Pertaining to the Epstein. And like I said, I didn't want to get more into what we discovered in those files and what they're talking about that's in those files. But it's some pretty grotesque stuff. But yeah, Shorty do be waving the pom-poms. So much so that she actually went out there and defended Epstein by talking about the girls were barely legal. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're barely legal. They're not 8, they're 15. Subliminal shots, indeed. Yes.
That was a conversation that was done by Nick Fuentes as well. I'm not sure if you watched that. That was a bit controversial.
No. I actually did watch a little bit of what he was talking about. But I also want to elaborate a little more because she wanted to know why Jay-Z is actually calling the shots for the halftime show. Is because the NFL was actually in the midst of a boycott for what people to be depicted as their racial bias towards Colin Kaepernick for the taking the knee, and it was Jay-Z that actually squashed that protest and kind of threw Kaepernick under the bus. You know what I'm saying? to actually curve that, and that's how he ended up doing the halftime show. You know what I'm saying? Which the halftime shows has been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So forth. Unless you're a bigot, you know what I'm saying? And you still want to wave the pom-pom. What happened?
That's not nice, calling people bigots. I don't know. I mean, I think the performances as well as the games have been lackluster lately. And that's been a couple of years in a row. Now, when it comes down to Kaepernick and you saying Jay-Z threw him under the bus or whatever the case is, I'm sorry, I was there when he sat down for his first protest.
No. I'm saying subliminal. No, I'm saying yeah, he threw his ass under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Because it was his involvement and his influence that got everybody to stop clamoring at the NFL, even though there was many reasons for people to actually go at the NFL for a lot of their practices. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the Kaepernick shit. You know what I'm saying? That was just that was like that was kind of like the tipping like the icing on the cake, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But I want to get into this next clip. You know what I'm saying? The part two of what it is that we're talking about. Piers Morgan's retort.
Okay, what is the national language officially? The national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official.
You don't have one.
Documented thing.
You don't have one.
If you would have let me finish my comment, I would have pointed that out. That people have been pushing to make it official.
Okay, right, so you're trying to make official.
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here. Whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Muslim, it's not happening in the United States of America. That's why President Trump was elected. And whether it's Bad Bunny, who is American but refuses to speak English in his performances, or anybody else, we have to keep the Super Bowl, which is a quintessential American event. Football, that kind of football, is ours. They call it American football. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American. Not Spanish, not Muslim, not anything other than good old-fashioned American apple pie. There should be a meatloaf, maybe some fried chicken, and an English-speaking performance.
Mine. Go, down. Mine.
Yo. All right, so check this out. I was trying to do this last week, but if you have a moment, I'd like to try and draw similarities to the border policy, if you will. Mm-hmm. I get what she's saying or whatever the case is, right? But check this out. Now, like I was saying last week, let's say you amassed yourself a great deal of wealth, right? And you had a palatial estate because you amassed that great deal of wealth, right? A palatial estate, miles and miles and miles from getting to the front of that estate to getting to the actual capital, or basically the house of the estate, right? So in order for you to maintain that estate, you're going to have to put fences around it, right? You're going to have to put a border around it in order to maintain that estate. That's number one. That's the border. Now, in order for people to come into your palatial estate, right, there should be a gate guard. That's your border wall, right? So the people that come into your palatial estate happen to be or need to be identified, right? So now once they get into there, because they've been identified and all of that other stuff, right? You should have groundsmen and people securing the area, making sure that nobody that is unknown, unidentified, and has nothing to do with you, with coming into your gate or whatever, that they get caught and they get removed from there, right? So those people, the groundsmen, the guardsmen, and all that other stuff, that's ICE. Now, let's say there were people that were coming over to your gate and they were saying that they were going to storm your gate or whatever the case is to go into your land, right? Okay, great. So you're going to come in. You're not identified. You're not authorized. You're not going through the gate the right way, where all the other people are in line to come into that gate. Now, you're going to allow the other people to jump the line that are not identified, that have not paid or anything like that? That doesn't make any sense. Now, let's say they do get past the gate. They get past the guards and all of that other stuff, and they get into that stuff, right? Into your palatial estate. Are you, A, going to grab weapons, lock your doors in your home because you know they're coming over there, grab weapons and lock your home? Or are you going to open the doors and be like, well, I don't know you. I haven't identified you. You jumped the line from everybody else that is identified and has paid and has a business reason to be here or whatever the case is, like has a reason because we've communicated that reason for you being here or whatever. Are you going to close your doors? You're going to close your gates? You're going to grab your weapons for the people that are unidentified that are storming your land? Of course you are. You're not going to open your doors, right? And then when they do get into that land or whatever the case is, right, you're not going to then take the amount of wealth that you amassed to have that palatial estate anyway, and then give it to those people, the unidentified ones or whatever the case is. And it has nothing to do with race or anything.
Here's the problem though. We already don't give those kind of benefits to undocumented and unidentified.
That's not true.
Folks. No,
that's not true.
That
That's
is
not
true.
That's why Brandon Johnson out there in Chicago for giving all of those free dollars and all that other stuff to illegal migrants or whatever the case is. That's why now they're raising property taxes on black folks in order to pay that bill that they're giving away to folks. That's the point.
Yeah. I heard something
You're
about
raising the property taxes,
and that was actually something that was actually being discussed while Biden was in office, while the migrants was being bussed up to and I find the rich irony of that, you know what I'm saying? Because wasn't it the Texas governor that was bussing the migrants up into these cities, into these sanctuary cities? In my cowboy voice, how
get your hind parts off my land.
Off my land.
Or at least identify yourself.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I'm also looking at the motive behind, you know, a lot of the talking points that's going on here. And like I said, like Piers Morgan was actually stated, English is not our official language. You know what I'm saying? You don't have one. As a matter of fact, up until maybe the mid 50s, 60s, you had people that spoke all kinds of different languages, because you have to remember you had a lot of people that came in from Ellis Island. You know what I'm saying? In the early 1900s. You know what I'm saying? The Italians did not speak English when they got here. The Irish did, you know, they you know, whatever you would call their English. You know what I'm saying? The Jews did not speak English when they got here. The Germans did not speak English when they got here. Neither did the French. You know what I'm saying? So this ideal and this ideology that English is our prominent language, you know what I'm saying, is kind of ill-informed. You know what I'm saying?
Is it fair to say that the majority of Americans, or the majority of Americans?
No, it is fair to say, but it's also not fair to say that you should be able to speak in your native tongue when you're performing in front of a live audience. We've had, and see, the reason why it didn't bother me so much, because I listen to a lot of the Hispanic music that's played, and I don't understand any of it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a few words here or there, whatever have you not. But that's no different than when we was living in Germany and I used to sit there and watch the Viva channel when I used to listen to the French rappers. You know what I'm saying? The German rappers. You know what I'm saying? The Portuguese singers. You know what I'm saying? All that melting pot of flavor that was actually singing in different languages. I didn't know what the hell they were singing about or whatever, but it sounded pretty cool. So it's like, oh man, that's all right. They trying to do what we do over there in their area. You know what I'm saying? So the outrage, you know what I'm saying, to me, you know what I'm saying, the overboardness of the outrage pertaining to this man's performance, You know what I'm saying? I say it's good on one end because it actually sold it. More people tended to watch the performance than they actually watched the game. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good that was a good PR stunt. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
I tell you what, they should pay me for this, but I'm gonna send this. They should pay me for this for real. I'm gonna send a shout out to this, right? Because just like you, I like listening to different language music and all this other stuff, the tones, the tunes, and all that other stuff, right? Duolingo. Shout out to Duolingo.
Okay.
It's easy. It's fun. You learn yourself a language or whatever. I've been working on Spanish with that, right? So now I have a better understanding and a better ability to speak Spanish. I listened to this a while ago, but then after like doing the Duolingo and as long as I've been on that, what was it yesterday? As a matter of fact, I was out there at the dealership, whatever, blasting some tunes. Elvis Crespo, Suavemente, brilliant song. And now that I understand what it was that he was saying, even better. Like that salsa y merengue, that is fire. But Elvis Crespo, shout out to Duolingo. Like, we're sitting over here talking about we don't speak the language and stuff like that, but you know what? There's tools available for us to learn, and learning that might bring us closer together.
Exactly.
That's just kind of the way that works.
Exactly. Let's get into this next clip of Pierce's retort towards what Miss Kelly said.
Okay, two things. One, you've conceded you don't have a national language in the United States officially. And secondly, the language you do want to be your official language is my language. The language of the country you think has gone to pot. So my obvious follow-up is, Megan, why do you want English as your national language if you think England is gone to hell in a handcart?
Pierce, I think those medications for your hip have gone too far. You need to...
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Morgan Kelly's funny.
Yeah, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna close it out with this last part. Let them finish the retort, and then we're gonna close out the segment with this. All right.
Fair enough.
If you think England is gone to hell in a handcart.
Pierce, I think those medications for your hip have gone too far. We need to dial back a pill or two. Okay? We want something that we can all understand. I don't think Bad Bunny used his appearance to bash America, but I can't be sure because I didn't see any subcaptions on his Spanish language performance.
But what about Pavarotti?
They chose
What about Pavarotti?
two America haters.
What about Pavarotti, who Donald Trump in 2016 in particular would use at every campaign rally? He's used it at the RNC, right, as a triumphant, tub-thumping anthem. Well, no, hang on. Not only Pavarotti.
I've been to lots of Trump rallies. Pavarotti gets a song, maybe
but
two.
He sings, but when he sings Nessun Dorma in Italian, I don't see you leaping up and down going, I can't understand a word of it. You're probably singing
I don't remember
along.
him being the Super Bowl halftime show, was he?
Well, would you have minded if he was?
Yes, I would have, because we feature English-speaking performers at the quintessentially American event of the Super Bowl. We do Michael Jackson. We do Whitney Houston. We do great bands that love America, like American rap. That's a different situation. This guy who can't stand the country comes out and starts speaking in Spanish, and I'm sure the people in South Florida really enjoyed it. The people in an American territory, Puerto Rico, really enjoyed it. But the people in the heartland had no idea what the hell was happening. This is the guy who loves to parade around in a dress, who again hangs out with Jay-Z and his Epstein-loving pals, who gets up there when he's not bashing America with his pals at Green Day, who are from the far left People's Republic of California, who have never missed a chance to rip on Trump, MAGA, half the country, or ICE, and that's something they share with Bad Bunny. That's not representative of what the heartland wants to see. And the heartland always gets the middle finger from people like Jay-Z, like Roger Goodell, who should know better, but he's a panderer who runs the NFL. And that's why you had probably closer to 10 million people turning the channel and turning to the Turning Point event, which was pro-American, which was absolutely beautiful, which had several references to God and faith and this country, which had a tribute to Charlie Kirk at the end of it, and talked about Jesus and how he can change your life. That's what America's all about. We were founded as a Christian nation. We're still a Christian nation. And what we want is somebody up there to celebrate how freaking special this country is, not a bunch of people who can't stand us. And over what? Over our desire to get illegal immigrants who are raping and molesting our children out of our country. That's all ICE is doing.
Okay.
All right. If y'all want to check out the rest of that, check out Piers Morgan's Uncensored. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube and wherever the streaming platforms. I found it on YouTube, so basically check him out on YouTube. But what I hear in that clip, I hear a lot of fear. I hear a lot of projection, and I hear a lot of insecurity. Once again, she threw that, you know, Jay-Z Epstein reference. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird here saying Jay-Z and Epstein and his weird pals and stuff like that. While like I said, while caping for Epstein's best friend who don't want to release the files, Donald Trump, at the same moment in time. So that's the that's the projection that I'm seeing right there. It's like, you know, okay, we want to talk about how, anyway, fuck all that. But the fear and the insecurities or whatever have you not, it's like a fear of exclusion. You know what I'm saying? It's like she said she said Florida and I think she said the territory of Puerto Rico speaks Spanish. But those are not the only areas in the country that speak Spanish. They speak Spanish in Texas. They speak Spanish in New Mexico. They speak Spanish in Arizona, California. They speak Spanish in Chicago. They speak Spanish in Philly. I mean, there's a lot of states in the country that actually speaks Spanish. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not all about the heartland. And I think that's the problem with I think that's the problem with a lot of the MAGA right, that they think everything is about them and it's not about you all the time. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not MAGA right. I'm MAGA center, independent, or whatever the case is, right? That's what it is.
I was talking about you. I was just saying in general.
This wasn't a shot at me, and I get that. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying, though, is, all right, so if you want to go to a foreign country, right, do you go over to that foreign country expecting them to speak English? I mean, they get taught that in schools, and so they do have multi-language culture.
Time out. The countries, the states that I named, I think they were speaking Spanish before they became part of the United States. In a lot of cases, Florida was speaking Spanish before they became a part of the United States. Texas was speaking Spanish before they became a part of the United States. The territories of New Mexico, California, Arizona, they were speaking Spanish before they became part of the United States. Let's understand this.
English, right? The predominant language is English, right? That's what it is in here. Like the overwhelming majority, the predominant language is English. You were to go over to a different country or whatever the case is, you can't go over to that other country with the expectation that they should speak English. That's just not the way that works.
Well, hold on. Time out. Before you give Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, Bruce Springsteen, Aerosmith, Metallica, any American artist that speaks English have been to a foreign country and sung their songs in English. Where in countries where the vast majority of the countrymen did not understand the language or did not speak the language. So that argument is futile.
Now, was it with their national event? This is like the Super Bowl is like the thing. That is the 100% American thing. Now, I'm no way or another.
Puerto Rico is 100% American.
As far as I'm concerned, when it comes down to the music or whatever the case is, I don't care if you speak Spanish. I don't care if you speak Iranian or whatever it is. I don't got Farsi or I don't care what it is that you speak. As long as the performance is good and the music sounds good. That's all that matters in my opinion. But then again, we've been around and traveled to different places or whatever the case is. And so I have a different viewpoint. We have a different perspective of something like that, listening to international music and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make me one way or another, just as long as you perform. Right. So And that's all there is to it. Now, when it comes down to it, I don't care about the political statements. I don't care about any of that stuff. Did you perform well? He had some good parts in there thematically that were good. But as far as like the voice, the tone, that kind of stuff, the stuff that matters when it comes down to music, I thought it was mediocre at best. And so I'm hating on him.
I'll raise you on that, but I could say that, but I could say the same thing about a lot of people who performed at the halftime show for the same reason.
Oh yeah,
American artists. So yeah, I mean, English-speaking artists.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas was not a great performance. There were a couple of different performances that were just not like hitting the mark. Absolutely, and that's why I said, when it came down to it, Prince was number 1 and Bruno Mars was number 2. I mean, those were performances, right? And I mean, those were some fire performances. You were up, moving around, and like, yo, this dude is going off right now, especially Bruno Mars.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's a bit much to go off about a damn halftime show of a football game ceremony. And football is how old? Football's been out since what, the 1930s, 1940s? It's been out for a long time, damn near 100 years, right? You know what I'm saying? The halftime show is barely 35 years.
Yeah, the halftime show to me is irrelevant. As a matter of fact, when it comes down to halftime show, that should be your time to get your libations or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the real problem with the Super Bowl, like when people like go through, get rid of all the fluff and all that other stuff, the real problem with the Super Bowl is that the players, the performance, the teams, it wasn't fun. It wasn't like entertaining. I like defenses or whatever the case is, but it was really a snooze fest until the last parts of it. And so,
well,
I mean,
I would say apparently because people's been talking more about Bad Bunny's performance than they actually talk about the actual game.
Exactly.
And shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. I think that they won the Super Bowl. So, shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. But one thing I want to get to as we close this clip out, you know what I'm saying? I really want people to start taking a real, really start thinking about this, because a lot of the talking points that, the people from the right talk, when they talk about, American values, they talk about the Constitution, it's not in the Constitution, and it's not, American values. America was not founded under Christian values. As a matter of fact, the country was founded under freedom of religion, which is what I'm actually getting ready to show. I'm getting ready to show a clip because we're getting ready to go into President's Day in another week or so. You know what I'm saying? So I want to actually, put in the clip of the freedom of religion. Actually, this is all the First Amendment rights that, in all out honesty, the right has been violating since Trump took office. So let's take a look at this right quick, this clip.
Freedom of religion. The First Amendment of the Constitution contains some of the most fundamental freedoms of our country, including freedoms of speech, press, protest, assembly, and last but not least, religion. Religious liberty is a fundamental component of our society, and the separation between church and state is what made the founding of America so revolutionary. Many, if not most colonists, came to the New World seeking religious tolerance and the freedom to worship as they chose. By the time of the American Revolution, there were many denominations and churches in the colonies, competing with one another. The founders believed the only way to prevent the new nation from being torn apart by religious factions was to sever ties between the state and churches. The First Amendment was ratified in 1791. Freedom of religion as outlined in the First Amendment is split into two parts. The Establishment Clause. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. And the Free Exercise Clause, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Basically, this language guaranteed that the government would have no official religion, nor would it prevent anyone from practicing their own beliefs. The phrase separation of church and state wasn't actually included in the Bill of Rights or the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson used the phrase in an 1802 letter to the Danbury Baptist Association. Well, in 1971, the Supreme Court in Lemon v. Kurtzman created a three-pronged criteria to ensure government policies or acts do not violate religious freedoms. First, a policy cannot have a religious purpose. Second, it cannot end up promoting or favoring any set of religious beliefs. And third, it cannot overly involve the government with religion. So how does that translate into the real world? It's probably best exemplified in our public schools, where neither teachers nor students are allowed to lead a class in prayer, because that would mean the school is promoting a particular religion above others. Educators can teach about religion in the context of history, but can't preach its tenets or beliefs. Religious extracurricular activities can take place, but they must be organized and run by students and be held during non-school hours. The Founding Fathers, based on the experience of their ancestors and their own beliefs, managed to forge a government whose freedoms are as important today as they were then. And freedom of religion continues to be one of the most important liberties that makes America, America.
Shout out to the History Channel for that one.
No doubt.
Yes. So I want everybody to start to actually think upon this as we continue to go through these struggles with the administration when it comes down to the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom to protest, and freedom of religion. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
So this is where I'm landing when it comes down to that. And I agree with you when it comes down to what it is that you just finished saying, but here's where I land. We get involved in things like the Super Bowl, in movies, in video games, in music, and all that other stuff as a form of escapism. Now, music has political messages, movies have political messages, games, all that other stuff. They have different messages or whatever. But if it's done with a level of nuance that actually states the argument of both sides, if you will, like the shades of gray, as opposed to being black or white, that's a better experience. But most people go to get these entertainment things for escapism, so that they don't, they're dealing with the work, they're dealing with the bills, they're dealing with all the things that are piling on top of them. And then once you start trying to infiltrate the level of escapism, I think that's where most people have a problem. It's like, look, I tuned in to tune out of that political mumbo jumbo or whatever the case is. If I wanted to tune into the political mumbo jumbo, I would tune in. I have a finger and channels that I can change the channel to get to that station. You don't have to infiltrate my form of escapism with your political agenda, because all it's going to do is turn me off to the form of escapism that I was trying to get into in the first place. And I think that's where a lot of people land when it comes down to it. The people that are actually on TV or on camera and all this other stuff, yeah, they'll put their political statements. But when it comes down to the layman, when it comes down to the regular American human being, American, whoever it is, hey, leave my escapism as escapism. I don't need you to browbeat me with your message or anything like that. I just want to be entertained. Now, when I want education, I can look it up. I can do the research. I can do all of that stuff. And so that's where it is. Let me be entertained. Give me this hour or 2 or 3 or however long it is to be left alone from all the ideologies and all that other stuff. Let me laugh. Let me cry. Let me sing along with it. Let me do all of the things that get me not thinking about the real world or the average everyday life. And I think that's where a lot of people land. And until they actually get back to the entertainment of things, I think you're going to hear a lot more belly aching, if you will.
I like that. And I could concur with that, but I could also give you a flip side to that. You know what I'm saying? Right. If the conversation has been talked about and it's been yelled about, you know what I'm saying, from the people, but you turn a blind eye to it. So a lot of times, and especially when it comes down to people of color, you know what I'm saying, this is one of the reasons why a lot of as wild as it may seem, it's one of the reasons why a lot of people of color, so to speak, or people in general actually look towards celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Look towards celebrity entertainment. But I'm saying as far as the history goes, because in times of turmoil and times where there's situations or problems and there's issues that arise, is usually being expressed upon by the artist. You know what I'm saying? Depicting the issues that is arriving, that is plaguing the community. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Celebrities no longer rule.
and it's usually through the artist and the art that message actually gets across. So where it's like for some that don't want to hear it because you know it bothers their escapism. You know what I'm saying? Which I concur. I agree. I could agree to the extent. There's also those that did not know because they're not in environments or situations or in places where they see that kind of stuff or even know that kind of stuff goes on or that is actually what's going on. And usually when those artists actually speak out pertaining to a situation, that's usually how you get resolved out of a lot of
The problem is now is that the most, like back in the day, you're absolutely correct. When there wasn't this mass amount of media where social media, podcasts, this, that, and the other, where you can actually be informed, when you were limited to a few channels and a few stations, you tuned into what the artists and the entertainers were saying, the celebrities were saying. At this point in time, there's so much dirt on the celebrities and they're so not well informed that it's like, why are you even talking? You're like a fart in the wind. It's just coming back in my face and it smells bad. Shut the hell up. Get up there and dance or sing or do whatever it is that you want to do that entertains me. But when it comes down to the content, when it comes down to the meat and potatoes of what it is that I'm actually looking for, ideologies, political movements and stuff like that, I don't depend on celebrities, and a lot of people don't anymore as well.
Yeah,
They lost their luster.
I think they feel the same way about some of these politicians as well. So we're gonna close this segment out. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you being on the show. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this again next week. We're gonna close this segment out with my man Germa G.O. He got a new video. It's called Lucha Yilo Tulio. All right, we got that right here for you on Community Megabytes on IAXS Radio. Let's go.
Ey, este tema es a los míos, a los soñadores, a los que nunca se quitaron, aunque el mundo estaba en contra de ellos, a los que se cayeron y para los que se pararon. Siga soñando. En la vida se va a un abrir y cerrar de ojos. Así que cualquier batalla que tenga, refúgiate en la música. Siento que ese momento al fin va a llegar. Oh Dios, adiós. Todo mi sacrificio al fin va a pagar. Oh Dios, a los que me apoyan no los pueden fraudar. Oh no, oh no, lucha, que nunca es tarde. Lucha por lo tuyo y no permitas que nadie te diga un carajo. Tú puedes, del yermo, bebé.
Yes, sir. Shout out to German Geo, Lucha de Lotulo, right here on Community Megabytes on ISS Radio. Well, now that we in Black History Month, we want to get I want to get into a little Black History moment. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk a little bit about the Harlem Renaissance, and I want to get into a little clip that I have reserved for Black History Month pertaining to the Schomburg Center for the Harlem, the Schomburg Center in Harlem. They're celebrating the Harlem Renaissance, and I want to show this clip for you right here. Let's check this out.
The Harlem Renaissance was a pivotal point in Black American history. Musicians, actors, and writers all gathered in Upper Manhattan, creating an artistic movement that fought for civil rights and left a lasting legacy. Noelle Lilly takes us to the Schomburg Center as they celebrate the history of Harlem.
Did you know you can see the original works of iconic Black leaders like Langston Hughes, Lorraine Hansberry, Maya Angelou, and Harry Belafonte, all right here in Harlem? The Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture is a living and breathing piece of history.
In this photo right here, sitting behind the desk, that is the first Black librarian hired by the New York Public Library, Catherine Latimer.
It first opened in 1905 as the 135th Street Library, the first in our city with an integrated staff. 2025 and 2026 mark 100 years since the library expanded to become what was then the Division of Negro Literature, History, and Prints.
But even when you look in the visitor's log, you see Zora Neale Hurston and Langston Hughes. They're all, like converging, and meeting in the library.
The center is named after Arturo Schomburg, an Afro-Puerto Rican scholar who spent his life researching and raising awareness about the achievements of people of African descent. He would go on to sell around 5,000 collected pieces of writing, artwork, and more to the library, helping the center get its start. Rumor tells it he was drawn to this work at a young age after an experience in grade school.
The teacher told him that people who looked like him had never done anything worthwhile. So that is what started him on his collecting journey.
If you want a closer look, you can make an appointment to experience manuscripts, photos, artifacts, and even recorded sound from Black history. But there are also regular open exhibits like the World War II Letters Project, which was spearheaded by Dr. Lawrence Reddick, Schomburg's successor and the author of the first biography of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
He felt at the time, and very rightfully so, that the work and achievements of Black men and women serving in the armed forces would not be adequately or accurately documented.
See where some of Langston Hughes' ashes rest, or read the personal copy of Jamaican-American writer Claude McKay's poetry collection, Harlem Shadows.
He was thinking about me, he was thinking about you, he was thinking about the future.
No matter your background, curators at the center say it's even more important today to ensure these stories live on.
And that's what we want people to know, that this history is yours.
This year, be on the lookout for an array of programs at the center as it celebrates its centennial. In Harlem, Noelle Lilly, CBS News, New York.
Yes. Now we're going to take a look for those of you who don't know what the Harlem Renaissance was all about. You know what I'm saying? Got a little clip for my Black History moment. Check out the clip talking about the Harlem Renaissance right here. Let's go.
The Harlem Renaissance is one of the most iconic cultural periods in African American history. Throughout the decade of the 1920s, Black writing, art, and music flourished, ushering in a cultural revolution that rocked the United States.
One of the most important factors that accounted for the rise of what we know of as the Harlem Renaissance is the migration of Black peoples from the South to urban centers like Harlem.
The Jim Crow era began after Reconstruction, and every Southern African American had to think about, what should we do? Should we go or should we stay? For many of these people, it was a matter of life and death, literally.
Sometimes in the most repressive times, we create the most extraordinary art.
Amidst the fervor of the Great Migration, bold, exciting forms of Black music evolved, along with venues to listen and dance to this music. Blues and jazz clubs became a central part of life in Harlem, where artists such as Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington, Bessie and Mamie Smith rose to prominence.
Began to cry. He went away and never even said goodbye.
The era also saw the burgeoning of literary work by and about African Americans, which the writer Alain Locke compiled into an anthology. He called it The New Negro, and its name came to define a movement.
The Harlem Renaissance is a facet of a larger movement that we think of as the New Negro movement, where you have a new generation of Black people, by this point, 2 generations out of slavery, using the arts as a way to help people gain broader civil and political rights.
Some of the framers of what became the Renaissance make the argument that the artistic worth of a people has to be proven by the worth of the art and literature they produced, and especially for people that historically, over centuries, have been defined as without culture, without history, and without any record of achievement.
The Harlem Renaissance was the flowering of creativity that had been suppressed for centuries. People that had the sense that things were opening up. And finally, we can be the people that we imagine ourselves to be.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Henry Louis Gates. Yes, I think Terror Vocals by Jamel said she's what was that? I'm infatuated with our history. Yes, ma'am. So am I. Love us, love our history. You know what I'm saying? Well, February is also American Heart Health Awareness Month. So, you know, those you hey, be on your P's and Q's and actually look out for yourself and look out for your heart. Check this clip out right quick.
February is American Heart Month. Take action today and be a part of the movement to improve your heart health. American Heart Month raises awareness about cardiovascular disease, its prevention, and the vital importance of staying educated to maintain heart health. The heart is a muscle about the size of a fist that pumps blood throughout the body. The right side sends blood to the lungs for oxygen, while the left side pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. An electrical system controls the heartbeat and coordinates the heart's chambers. Cardiovascular disease is a broad term that includes conditions affecting both the heart and blood vessels, such as stroke and peripheral artery disease, in addition to heart disease. Although often used interchangeably, heart disease specifically refers to conditions that affect the heart itself, like coronary artery disease, heart attacks, and heart failure. Cardiovascular disease symptoms can differ based on the underlying cause. Older adults and women may have more subtle signs but can still have serious cardiovascular disease. You may be at a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease if these factors apply to you. Some types of cardiovascular diseases can't be prevented. However, lifestyle changes can help you reduce your risks of many other conditions. Understanding your risk, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and staying informed are key to preventing cardiovascular disease. Health Monitor provides educational content for patients and healthcare professionals to improve heart health awareness and enhance care. Did you know that heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide? American Heart Month is a great time to speak with your doctor about taking charge of your heart health.
Yes, sir. Now we're going to get into the last segment of the day. We're going to get into Did You Hear That Yet? And we're starting this off, you know what I'm saying, due to the fact that we're getting ready to get into that nice, smooth Valentine's Day season. So we got these smooth grooves out here for you if you're looking for something nice that you want to play with your lady, you know what I'm saying, with your loved one, with your sexy, you know what I'm saying, during this nice little Valentine's season. Check out some of these joints that we're going to play right here. Hold on, let me see. Terror Vocals by Jamel says, I have heart disease due to a heart attack in 2018 due to stress, etc. I'm trying my best to take care of this heart. Yes, please do so. Please do so. Watch your salt intake. Overstressing your heart. Oh man, there's a lot more. There's a lot more that I know, but I'm getting tongue tied off of that or whatever. But we're gonna bring more next week, talking more about heart health as well as Black History Month, and we're gonna get into some more stuff talking about President's Day as well. But right now, we're gonna get into these smooth love jams right here for the Valentine's Day set. The first joint is gonna be by a group by the name of Before Dawn, and the record is called Alone Time, and we got that for you right here on IAXIS Radio. Did you hear that yet? Community Bites with DAVON Franklin. Let's go. Dawn, getting some alone time right here on Community Megabytes. Did you hear that yet on IAXIS Radio? Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. The next joint that we have coming up is the second single from the Let It Flow CD, Evolution, by my man Big Poppy. He got a new joint for us, so we're gonna play that right here. Community Megabytes. Let's go. Big Poppy. Big Poppy, Evolution, right here, Community Megabytes. Did you hear that yet? And then the next record that we're gonna get, we're gonna smooth this out a little bit. We're gonna bring you back. We're gonna bring it back to you. You know what I'm saying? Century. Last year we had Century's Forever record. Right now we got the acoustic remix. This is Century. The song's called Forever. This is the acoustic remix. Right here, Community Megabytes on IAXIS Radio. Let's go.
Forever, forever, forever. Baby, baby. Said I'll cry for you. I'll cry for you, lady. And said I'll die for you. And I'll die for you, sweet lady. You bring me so much joy in my life. Minor frowns, major smiles, they make me feel alright. Already know that you're my all and all. Picks me up when I fall. When I was down and out, you were there for me. We will never break apart, always in my heart, yeah. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And I would always love you, no matter what the situation may be. We will constantly making love, baby. Close your eyes, let me see that smile. Seem like we'll be together for a while. So, girl, I care for you, and I know you care for me. We'll keep each other satisfied the way we supposed to be. I've been there for you, and you've been there for me. And now I'm gonna cherish your love forever, forever, and ever, and ever. Baby, forever, forever, forever. You will always be my lady. In the morning you will always be the first to see, girl. Be the last every time when we go to sleep, girl. I will always have you right here by my side, girl. I will always love you till the day I die, girl. You will be in my heart no matter what it may be, girl. When we making love, girl, I give satisfaction guaranteed. Words can express how I feel about you. I'm ready to settle down and make this love real. So good when I'm around you, baby. You never had no one like me, and I never had no one like you. Oh yeah, don't you know I do whatever it takes to keep you happy all night, all day. When we at the altar, and this is what I say. Girl, I care for you. Keep each other satisfied the way we supposed to be. I've been there for you, and you've been there for me. And now I'm gonna cherish your love, yeah. Forever, 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 forever. You will always be my lady. Said I cry for you, and I will die for you. I give the world. Said I give the world. You make me feel brand new. Just be when we we supposed to be. And I will always love you for.
Yes, sir. Century Forever, the acoustic mix right here, Community Megabytes. Did you hear that yet? Yes, sir. That'll conclude. That would definitely conclude the segment. If you want to hear any of music, hear your music played on the platform, Feel free, send your music over to my email at dayrf13@gmail.com, and we'll take a listen to it. And hey, say we get it right here on the station. Say get it through our I-Access rotation, and have it roll. And you know what it is. You know what it is. But what I do want to do, I want to give another announcement out for the event that's going on the Yonkers Public Library by way of Ken Davis. Thursday, February 19th, 6 p.m. at the Yonkers Room. At the Yonkers Public Library, they're going to have the history of African Americans in the police department. So if you want to go check out that history of the police department, the African American men that actually, worked the police force over the last 100 years, go check that out. It's going to be at the Yonkers Public Library. Thursday, February 19th, 6 p.m. at the Yonkers Room, all right? So we're going to take a quick music break, but smooth you out with a quick music video or a quick music song, something nice, going into the Valentine's season or whatever have you not. And then we're going to come out and close the show. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's go on IAXIS Radio, Community Megabytes. Let's go.
It's grown up things right here. Get your mimosa. Bringing my 3-piece out for this one. Yo, School, what up, man?
Ignite my fire. Take me higher for once. I know that you've been waiting on the right time, but I'm telling you right now, the fire. I've been waiting on someone. You've been on my mind, outfit, so baby, you know you're getting this good love. Automatically.
Open up your private office, let's have a discussion. Elevate your mind without pushing any buttons. Take you to the highest floor, no interruptions. Dressed up on a corporate level, looking seductive. Plenty work to be done, you trying to be productive. Papers on your desk, time to make a few adjustments. Push your keyboard to the side instead of rushing. Two familiar faces, smile, no introductions. Do a little role play, fulfilling your fantasies. Climax, eyes rolling back is a guarantee. Co-workers mad at the fact that you got it made. Just because the sun's shining, they still could be throwing shade. Lean over the counter, please don't be afraid. Tell your boss the meeting after lunch has been delayed. I got flames to ignite your fire. Anything that your soul desires.
Ignite my fire. Take me higher for once. I know that you've been waiting on the right time, but I'm telling you right now, the fire. I've been waiting on someone. You've been on my mind, outfit, so baby, you know you're getting this good love.
It's not lust at this point, the vibe's here. Get off at 9, 8:45, I'll arrive there. Dinner reservations for 2, party been lit. Prada shoes, Stuart Hughes blazer in a slim fit. Grown adults, we moving on our own accord. Showing results, a night of fun is the reward. Japanese, Lebanese, Greek or Italian, asparagus, sugar snap peas under the salmon. I was flying by so quick, but who's counting? Lights getting dimmer through the dinner, still lounging. You know the song, let's get it on when they announce it. Something spill, wine on your blouse, then change outfits. One touch leads to many if we allow it. Searching for that fountain of youth, I think you found it. I got the flames to ignite your fire. Anything that your soul desires.
Ignite my fire. Take me higher for once. I know that you've been waiting on the right time, but I'm telling you right now, the fire. I've been waiting on someone. You've been on my mind, outfit, so baby, you know you're getting this good love. Take me higher for once. I know that you've been waiting on the right
your last name more than anything. I give you my whole life, girl. I will show you that you mean the world to me. But I got a question for ya, for ya, for ya. I'm just trying to get to know ya, know ya, know ya. If I tell you, say I love you. If I tell you, say I need that body every day and every night, I go put no one above you. Would you give it to me?
Say Can I be the man that you dream of always? The one to make you smile and you think of always. Till then you be the girl that you dream of always. Me I know need another to the think of always. Oh yeah, come a little closer, closer, closer. Dance make you bust my brain. Give me the champion wine, girl, how I like it. Wanna see you bust it one time. If I tell you say I love you, no be mouth all day. Me I no go use you play. I be your superman, be your lover man. Be all you want, you don't need another man.
Girl, if I tell you say I love you, if I tell you say I need that body every day and every night, I go put no one above you. Would you give it to me? Don't take me for no maga. Don't take me for no food, darling. I will do anything for ya. Just tell me what you do, baby. Don't you take me for no maga. Don't take me for no food, darling. I will do anything for ya. Just tell me what you do, baby. Girl, you're nice, but you're so rude. Me like it cause you put me in the mood. Skin soft, anything good, good. Yeah, smell like shampoo. Yeah, bam bam move like typhoon. We heat it up like it's so full. Now tell me what you gon' do, baby. If I tell you, say I love you. If I tell you, say I need that body every day and every night, I go put no one above you. Would you give it to me? Say yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in, man. Yes. Peace and love. Live, love, love life. Take care of each other. Peace.